This is it. This is where we do world news every night.
Reporting tonight, David Muir.
David Muir will make history September 2nd. The 40-year-old will be the youngest evening news anchor in nearly half a century.
Less than a week out.
Crazy, right?
To the big debut.
This is the desk, right?
How are you feeling?
You know, humbled to follow in the footsteps of Peter Jennings, Charlie Gibson, and Diane Sawyer, who's not only, you know, a dear, dear friend of mine, but a force.
David Muir is going to be anchor, managing editor, sitting right here at this desk.
And I am so lucky, but even luckier to have her as sort of this fellow journalist saying, he's earned it.
All the stories from every corner of the planet, every inch of America.
ABC gave us a look at this never-before broadcast promo for their rising star. It's not a secret that the network is looking for a younger audience. And
I have a little surprise.
The E.T. surprise.
There's always an E.T. surprise or two, right? Here's a clip of you anchoring at Ithaca College.
We were going to go to break, so stay tuned for more of ICTV. Oh no!
There you are.
Same hair.
It's the same hair.
How embarrassing.
You've kind of got it swooped a little bit differently now.
Oh no.
he's charming, he's smart, and he's got street cred. But Brooke wasn't sold on his office.
Well, I think you might need a corner office. This is a little tight, I think, for the anchor.
Oh, you want bigger?
Yeah.
Did you guys hear that?
Yeah,
Brooke says we need a bigger office.
We need a bigger office for David.
At his producers meeting for their feature Made in America, it's easy to see why the staff supports him.
These are made in America, and our fighter pilots have been wearing these since the 70s. They put my name on them. You like that?
You've been called the Brad Pitt of news.
Well, I probably should apologize to Brad Pitt. I wish I looked like Brad Pitt, but you're embarrassing me, and you can tell.
First of all, congratulations.
Thank you.
I mean, I read these stories about you at the age of 12, sending a letter to the local anchor in Syracuse, and here you are, 28 years later.
I mean, it really is crazy for me to think of the boy from upstate New York who literally had a dream. I mean, I was 12 years old. I typed a letter to the local newsman, and I literally went out to the mailbox every single day waiting to see if he would write back. And I remember the day I went to the mailbox, the letter was there, and the last couple of lines of the letter, I will never forget. He said, "Competition in television news is keen. There's always room for the right person. It could be you."
You're only 40 years old.
40 years old.
This is a huge...
And aging rapidly. This will do that.
This is a huge job.
This is the privilege and the responsibility with this job you are reminded of every single night when you walk down that hallway to this studio. That is the hallway that Peter Jennings, Charlie Gibson, and Diane Sawyer all walk down. And I'll walk down that hallway tonight, aware of the honor and the privilege. The jitters that I have is really all because of the responsibility to that audience at home every night. They turn to us, and I believe that we should not waste their time. We have all day long to laser in on what's important, and to be able to travel the world with Diane Sawyer and then have her, sort of pass the baton to me is a gift I never could have imagined.
Let's get a big welcome to our colleague and our dear friend, David Muir. He officially, yes. Hey, and there was no applause sign, David. That was from the heart. He takes over as the anchor of World News tonight. That will happen this week. We saw you yesterday. It's the beginning of a new and exciting era for him and for our viewers. And David, you know how we feel about you. And I've known you, and I've known of your passion and your devotion. This is something that you've thought about as a small child.
Yeah, you and I have talked about how important family is, especially when you're a child growing up. And I was the 12-year-old kid with a dream. And I told you I'd written to the local newscaster and waited for that letter to come back in the mailbox. It finally did. And he said, there's always room for the right person. It could be you. And a week or two later, I'm in the TV station carrying the tripods and ripping the scripts. And for years on my summer breaks, they would let me come in and they would measure how much I'd grown from summer to summer on the newsroom wall with a bright red face. But now I look back and I'm so grateful to everyone who gave me a shot.
You are the right person for being in that chair. You know that. And it's not just about being in the chair. You're going to get out. That's what you are known for, and you're going to continue to do that.
I think the viewers at home who've watched our reporting would say, what happened to this guy if I wasn't still out in the field doing these stories? And we're just back from the Syrian border because there are so many children who've left Syria with their families, from middle-class families. Their parents were teachers, lawyers, and now they're living in Lebanon. And the children are the ones who actually support the entire family. I wanted everyone at home to get their first look here this morning.
Okay, let's do it.
There is no school bus waiting, instead a truck, the children soon spilling over. And we board the truck with them. We're not going to school, we are headed to the fields. She points out the way.
This way?
This way.
This way.
The children, their tiny hands holding on, many of them once from middle-class families in Syria. Now they are the ones who support their families.
You're going to work on the potatoes. Potatoes. Yes.
You never stop to think about that.
Yeah, that the children are supporting their families, and they hire only the children because the adults, they'd have to pay more. And we learned that in the field, even the little boys make more than the little girls. They say the boys are stronger.
Oh, come on.
So we are shining a spotlight on this tonight. Hopefully the world will remember that there are children right now, you know, hundreds of thousands of them working instead of going to school.
You're going to be all around the world and right here at home, made in America.
Made in America. That's right, Robin. You know, this is a series, and this is really the power of where I think the evening news is headed, because viewers can now reach out and say, when are you coming to our hometown? We've discovered the one thing that's going to create jobs, or at least save jobs here in America, and we'll be out there, you know, this week. Spotlighting another company, another family determined to make it here. It was a family business from New England, and they said we had offers to go to China, to Mexico, and they stayed here, and now there's a resurgence, and they're creating jobs, and we'll show you what it is.
Yeah, we always look forward to those reports, and I hope you'll still make time for us here in this little bitty show called Good Morning America.
Are you kidding?
Please make time for us. But you know how happy we are for you. And just all the best, all the very best.
And everyone at home should know, Robin, you have been cheering me on every step of the way.
Amen, brother. Amen.
Thank you.
World News Tonight with David Muir.